ASW. I was going to tell you today, if you're running me on a private jet today, so we have our seats around a private jet. We are going to New York City today. Have another really awesome thing to share with you today. But how did you do that? You need to go to New York. So fasten your seatbelts, put up your tray tables, and let's take off. Of course, we're gonna move it and groove it while flying to New York. To one of my favorite New York songs, by the group Owl City. I play this a lot when we go to New York because I love this song. So let's get ready to move and groove and head to New York City. It's okay. We can dance in the aisles now. We're at a good altitude.
For my junior year, candy in my backpack, and you can pick our soundtrack. We're heading for the East Coast tonight, so pack your bags and hold on tight, cause we're taking off. We're taking off. Run away with me. We're on the way to New York City. Take my hand and see. Manhattan never looks so pretty. Travel light and see the world right. You'll never know if you never go. So run away with me and say you love New York City. Feet up on the dashboard. We're driving with the windows down. You forget your phone cord. We'll buy one in the next small town. Get dinner at an IHOP. A shower at a truck stop. Listen to some Johnny Cash. Take my hand and don't look back, cause we're moving on. We're moving on. Run away with me.
Hey, Kevin, let's see, let's stop. Alright, we've landed in New York. I hope you enjoyed the pizza we had earlier. It was really, really good. I love New York City pizza. We are right in front of the New York City Center. The big building, there's a sign that New York City Center. The two-story building, so there's two-story windows that have a lot of brown, the brownish building right behind me. And we're here today because what I'm going to share with you today recently opened at the New York City Center. We're going to talk about the musical Into the Woods. Into the Woods originally appeared on Broadway in 1987. It was written by about 35 years ago around. It was written by the music and lyrics, the sound and music was written by Stephen Sondheim. It was the book that the script was written by James Lapine. Had a big hit on Broadway, won a lot of Tony Awards. They've been doing revivals ever since. A revival means they do it again, okay? So a lot of times Broadway will have a musical, it will have a good run, it will close, and then they'll do a revival. So they've been doing revivals of Into the Woods all over the country, all over the world. They've done several revivals on Broadway. And 2014, there was a movie that starred Meryl Streep, Anna Kendrick, James Corden, and Chris Pine. And they recently did the new revival right here at the New York City Center. Opened recently, I believe, toward the end of May. That was part of their encore series. And some of the actors in that were like Neil Patrick Harris, Sarah Bareilles, and it's extended now, and they're going to be on Broadway at the St. James Theater until October. So the new, not a new musical, but a brand new revival. So what you're going to see today are some rehearsals and then a few highlights from the show and the curtain call. I really hope you enjoy going behind the scenes of the blockbuster Broadway show and learn a little bit about this revival. So let's go backstage, okay?
Thank you for tuning in to Broadway.
Broadway Spotlight here on iHeartRadio.
We need a show.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
I didn't think I'd wed a prince.
I didn't think I'd ever find you.
I didn't think I could be so happy.
All that seemed wrong was now right. The kingdoms were filled with joy, and those who deserved to were destined to live a long and happy life. Ever after. Ever after. Journey over, all is mended, and it's not just for today, but tomorrow, and extended ever after. Ever after. All the curses haven't ended, the reverses wiped away, all is tenderness and laughter, but forever after.
It is a bit of a blur. Even doing the press this morning, it's like the performance team is incredible because it was not that good this morning, and then the cameras got there and we were like, we got this. You know, it's like the show must go on at all costs, and then it wasn't bad. And so there's that, but then also the most incredible part for me has been the people. Everyone is like such a genuine artist at their core, and then so warm that it's like watching everyone do their work is what's inspiring, and then inspires you to show up and feel like, oh, we can do this. Everyone's a masterclass, you know. Anne Harada, like they come in with their one line, and it's like, oh my God, that was perfect. It was hilarious. How could I ever imagine anyone else playing this role, you know?
The process is quick, and so it's kind of in your face. You're on a freight train and you're barreling through it. I could not think of a better person to do it with than Lair, or a better cast. I think this is the creme de la creme of Broadway, and you see it every day. Every day that I'm in the room, I'm like, that's crazy that you figured that out in 20 seconds, because that's how long we have, or in a minute, or they come back and it's different. And so it's been beautiful to watch and beautiful to be a part of. So the process has been, even though it's quick and rigorous and tiring at times, somehow I'm not feeling it as badly. I am tired, and my brain's confused with into the woods to have to keep to what, but I couldn't think of a better group of people with which to do it.
This is insane. The schedule is hard anyway, but adding to this deceptively complex piece, it's like, oh, it's sweet, it's fairy tales, and it's fun, and it's Sondheim's easier show. No, it's not. I've heard people say, I kind of do too, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been obsessed with the show since I was like 9, and I feel like I've never realized how difficult this music is, how precise it is, and I mean, even I have an easier track than the majority of the people in this. I mean, it's not easy, but you know what I mean? Like, watching Danae learn her music is like, she's brilliant, and I can't even imagine like what's going through her head having to learn this precise, difficult music. It's just incredible to watch. Yeah.
And to carry all the the emotion that's needed,
Yeah.
and to do it quickly.
It's a lot, and yet Sarah is quite remarkable at maintaining like positivity and buoyancy through it out, through all of it. Because I get nervous and think we should be better and better and better and better because it's about to happen, you know? And I think, well, you say it better.
No, it's so understandable. It's very easy. 2 weeks is not enough time to metabolize this much material. It's not.
Truth.
It's not. I don't care how good you are if you've done the show before. It's just not. It's not. So what we're doing is asking a lot of ourselves, and we're gonna. The only way we can do it is kind of heart forward. You know, let's hold hands and leap a little bit because, you know, we're gonna be discovering who these characters are, what this piece is for ourselves in front of the audience. That's part of I think the thrill of seeing an on-course production is that you're seeing something that's a little underbaked, you know, intentionally. And I've said this before, but Lear reminded us all that we wouldn't all be able to be together necessarily for an entire process. That would be months and months of development and, you know, rehearsal and just time. So we get this spectacular, you know,
Moment in the woods.
moment in the woods.
First of all, collecting this unbelievable cast. The casting process for this was very exciting. This is one of the most accomplished casts that I can remember having here at Encores in one show. And so we all came together last week, and I think we're all feeling the spirit of Steve Sondheim in the room with us. I personally am missing just having him be here with us, but everyone has dove right into the material. It's such a rich show. It's so rich with, of course, the usual beautiful music and lyrics, but also thematically what the show has to say about this particular time we're in now is very appropriate, I think. So everyone is really excited to be here.
This group of actors is a dream. We have honestly been having such a joyful time in the room. It's a privilege to come to work every day and make magic with this group of people.
I mean, look who I'm literally standing next
I'm
to.
loving
This
it.
is like the most ridiculous thing
I love
ever.
it. I love it.
It's a dream come true. I've idolized these people for years and years, and now we're doing interviews
pals.
together
Yeah, we're
and
pals.
singing together, and I'm like gonna faint. So
I think
yeah.
we're all fanning out. We truly all are.
Yeah.
We all are in our own lane, doing our own thing, you know, and in this business, and doing the best we can, and growing, peaking, and valleying in our own life, in our own careers. But to sit on the side and watch people do it it's really great. It's great to meet a new talent like Julia and watch her. I know she has nerves because I have them, and I've been doing this for a really long time. So I can see she has nerves, but I can't see the nerves. I can only see courage. And and she kind of starts it off, and we sort of, after the opening, we sort of get to be the first sort of story that comes, like, develops and ends. So violently, I must say. Thanks, Julia.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, I try. I'm just hungry. That's all. But it's such a neat thing to see veteran talent with brand new talent and respect going equally both ways.
I think now, approaching Into the Woods as an adult, I see the complexities in the characters a lot differently, you know, and I see Cinderella as a far more interesting character than I did then. She's so nuanced in what she's grappling with and trying to search for her own sense of fulfillment in a way that I feel like Lear really is interested in my portrayal of Cinderella, feeling that kind of modern intensity, which I like.
You know, this time I'm coming at it as a mom and as a mom of a daughter. And so I think, you know, before when I wasn't, not discounting everybody, but when I wasn't, I think I heard it differently. And now I hear it completely differently. I'm very open about the fact that I think that the witch has some things that she needs to work on, but I don't think that she's that bad of a person. Because if offered the opportunity to lock my children up in a tower and save them from the bad of the world, I would consider it greatly. As a matter of fact, I was saying about a year and a half ago, I locked my children up. It wasn't in a tower, but it was in my house, and I locked them in to protect them, you know. So I feel that that's where I come into it. I hope that at the end of this, when we do the show, that people maybe understand the witch, or don't see her as, you know, maybe they see themselves in her a little bit more. That it's not like, you know, I think we were always like, oh, you're the witch, you're bad. But that they're like, maybe there's a little bit of, maybe she's right, which she is, you know, a little bit. I mean, as I said, she still needs a little therapy for some things.
The discussion we had on day one, Lauren, who is playing our stepmother, was in the original company as one of the stepsisters. And she said this really lovely thing about, you know, the weight of the piece always having a relationship to the backdrop of the world. You know, the AIDS crisis was the first time this show was put on. 9/11 was the revival, we'd said. And now, look at what we're all kind of going through. And I just think the weightiness of facing something bigger than you, the giant in this case, facing something bigger than you as a community and who gets lost along the way is just a really poignant kind of story to be telling right now. And I don't know that I had really kind of ingested that part of the heaviness of the show.
That's a great thought, because before, I think, the pandemic, people had individual connections to the second half of Into the Woods. But I think now literally everyone on the planet Earth has experienced some level of being in their own little house and needing to get back out into the woods and what that means. And so I feel that maybe these audiences will listen to the show and watch it in as a community in a different way, not quite so singular as before. It'll be fun to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, we think about Steve every day in the room. There's not a day that we don't mention him, honor him, think about him. And I think there's very much the sense that he is with us. You know, he knew about this production and was very supportive. I got to work with him with both Steve and James in conceiving it and even on the casting. And so it feels very special to be doing it at this time.
Don't you know what's happening? Someone has to shield you from the world. Stay with me. Princes await there in the world, it's true. Princes, yes, but wolves and humans too.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Into the woods you have to grow, but that's the way you learn to go. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey.
And you you think of all of the things you've seen, and you wish that you could live in between, and you're back again, only different than before. After the sky. But slow, little girl, hark and hush. The birds are singing sweetly. You'll miss the birds completely. You're traveling so fleetly.
Beyond woods, beyond witches and slippers and hoods. Just a few of us beyond lies, safe at home with a beautiful prize. Just a few of us. It takes trust, it takes just a bit more and we're done. We want 4, we had none, we've got 3. We need 1, it takes 2.
But then what if you are what a prince would envision? But then how can you know who you are till you know what you want, what you don't? So then which do you pick? Where you're safe out of sight and yourself, but where everything's wrong? Or where everything's right and you know that you'll never belong? And whichever you pick, do it quick, 'cause you're starting to stick to the steps of the palace.
It's the last midnight, so goodbye, all coming at you fast to midnight. Soon you'll see the sky fall. Here you want a bean, have another bean. Beans were made for making you rich. Plan them and they saw. Here you want some more. Listen to the roar, giants by the score. Oh yeah, you can blame another witch.
Someone is on your side. Our side. Someone else is not. While we're seeing our side, maybe we forgot.
They are not alone. No one is alone.
Into the woods, but not too slow. Into the woods is nearing midnight. Into the woods to find the wolf, to heed the witch, to honor the giant, to find, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, and out of the woods. And happy ever after. I wish.
Yeah, good guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I love watching rehearsals. I love getting to get a little sneak peek in the theater. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, this musical originally debuted on Broadway in 1987, and it's been done probably somewhere all over the world every year since. And they also have a school version for kids. A very popular music. So I saw a production of it when I was living in Chicago. I love it. It's one of my favorites. All right, so let's go to our bonus round. Bonus question number 1. What year did Into the Woods originally debut on Broadway? Bonus question number 1. What year did Into the Woods originally debut on Broadway? And that's your first bonus question. Bonus question number 2. Bonus question number 2. One of the stars of the most recent production was Neil Patrick Harris. Name a TV show that Neil Patrick Harris was also in. And number 1, what year did Into the Woods originally appear on Broadway? Bonus question number 2, name a show, television show, that Neil Patrick Harris has been on. Alright guys, there are the bonus questions. You know what to do. You can leave your voicemail at 323-364-2478. You can text it to me at 323-364-2478, or you can send an email to dejclass@gmail.com. That's dejclass@gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed that trip to New York. We're gonna head back to LA and do a little bit more moving and grooving.